Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Read the Bible?
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. What's it to you?
Can you read, my son?
Well, that depends. Can you go fuck yourself?
I feel like it's a certain group of people out here, right? It's two groups of men out here. It's men who smash with their socks on and men who smash with their socks off. And I don't know what side of the fence you stand on here and what side is the right side to stand on. All I know is it's getting cold. It's cuffing season. If we all be smashing and you don't want to turn your heat on, I'm keeping my socks on. That's just game, right? Also, you know, depending on the type of flooring or the sheets that are on the bed, you get a little bit of extra grip so you can really drive it home. You know what I'm saying? Are you
with socks?
Yeah, with socks on.
I would say the opposite gives you more traction.
I mean, if you got monkey feet and you can really but if she don't got the proper bed frame for you to really dig your feet in, and depending, like I said, it depends on the kind of sheets that are on the bed or what kind of carpet is on the floor. All I'm saying is, and I guess, yeah, the kind of socks, but I don't be wearing Steve Harvey dress socks either. You know, it's usually athletic socks for me.
I just want to point out for the audience that Doc is assuming he's going to her house.
To smash? Why would you bring her back to your crib?
I don't know. Either one.
Are you gonna bring her back to your crib?
Dude, Uber.
You smashing in the Uber?
No, I'm saying call the Uber after. And we're also talking hypotheticals here.
Just saying, hypothetically, because once again, I'm in a relationship, right? So nobody's coming back to the crib unless my lady picks her out. But socks on or off, Zig?
I take my socks off.
Really, you take the time to take? Because for me, personally, what it is if they don't come off when my pants, I'm taking my pants off, you take your socks off, because, I'm not about to, first, that's weird. What's weirder, having to put the condom on or take your socks off?
Definitely the condom. Because that's, literally, pause.
I feel like if the socks don't come off when you take the pants off, dog, then you have to be like, hold on, wait. And then you got to do that weird thing where you hopping around the room on one leg, and you're super fucking tall too, right?
That's why you I use like a hook motion where when I grab my pants and I'm pulling them off, my thumb will catch my socks at the same time.
Okay, so you've perfected a technique that makes sure the socks slide off with the pants, right?
You do as much as possible with one hand, so that way the other one is free.
Have to put the condom on. Listen, the level of education.
It's not a bad point, though. You do as much as you can with one hand, so the other hand is free.
I don't feel like this is a bad question, audience. I'm just saying, are you a socks on or off kind of person? Ladies, are you turned off when you notice that your gentleman is still wearing his socks? It's like how when you watch a porno, right, and the girl still has her shoes on, and I'm like, but... You got naked and then put the high tops back on. I'm not mad you have the high tops on. It's a hot look, right? But I'm just saying, you had to take them off to take the pants off, right? You can't take your pants off and not or maybe she was wearing a dress.
That was what I was going to say, but
a dress and high tops. Maybe heels, right? Dress in heels, yeah, that's cool. I'm not opposed to in pornos. Sometimes the dudes still be wearing his shoes.
It's that's the
especially when it's
thing.
boots.
It's you're naked, but except for that, it's just it's a little. It's not being a feet dude at all. It's just that's just a little odd.
Have you ever had a girl ask you to put the shoes back on?
No.
Smash me in the boots. It's usually boots when I see it in pornos and stuff like that, right? It's a guy in Tim's.
No.
Or hardhead Jack
Dead
boots.
ass, I haven't.
What's the weirdest thing you've had somebody ask you to do in the middle of an act?
Usually deciding where the act takes place.
That's the weirdest. You've never had a girl be like, punch me in my esophagus?
No. I don't think I would be willing to do that.
I'm not advocating.
Like, the only way I would do that. Like,
I mean,
like, if she's like, punch me in my esophagus, I would grab my phone, hit record, and say, can you say that again, but clearly?
Listen, I'm not kink shaming at all.
Me neither. I just want an alibi.
Yeah, no, I've never had anybody ask me to violate them in that kind of way possible. Yeah, usually it's do me in a weird place, right? Like, what is with you ladies and liking to put yourselves in situations, right? Like, men are just like, I don't know, how about two of you, right? A girl is like, girls are like, women are like, I don't know, can you like me in the mall, like in the parking lot, like on the top level though, on like the hood of the car, right? And it's like
public park in the middle of the day while people are walking their dogs. Yeah, that's not happening.
Out front of TGI Fridays during like, why did I say it like that? Outside of TGI Fridays during like happy hour, but like at the end of happy hour, so everybody's leaving.
Or maybe like you do something, you know, like,
or like while my dad, or like while my dad's downstairs, like. Awful. I know we've got to stay at my parents' house for the weekend, but like, can you rail me in the bathroom that's like right next door to their room, please? It's always been, you know, it'll remind me of high school.
Middle of a party in the bathroom. That's been a thing.
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't? I feel like that's a rite of passage, right? If you've never been smashed in the bathroom in the middle of a party, then are you really like living? Have you ever knocked a sink off a wall?
No, I haven't.
No.
Never knocked a sink off of a wall.
Hand to God, that's happened at a party I've been to. And yes, before you asked, they were smashing. The level of smashing is rising up and crashing through like the Kool-Aid man with a heart on. It's Doc.
It's Ziggy.
With the flood. That's right, your favorite weekly pop culture digest, bringing you our pop perspective.
To put the culture in context.
And make the mainstream
make sense. Because if we don't make sense, we don't make
dollars. Hello. And unless you want to see Zig and I on OnlyFans, pause, not together, but like on OnlyFans because we're broke. If you don't want us to be broke enough to pull our dicks out, then donate to that Patreon at the Flood Pod on everything. And that's on everything except for OnlyFans.
You know we're gonna
Yet.
Somebody's gonna email the Patreon and be like, you know, if you started at OnlyFans,
pull your dicks out. I got money. I'm here to see your show, boys. Right. We started out talking about smashing with socks on.
We didn't even get to the pop perspective to put the culture in context.
Yes, no, we said that part. No, we said that part. What we didn't say is we talk about the news happening around you and how it shapes the culture that defines you, right? We do that after we're done discussing whether or not you should smash with socks on.
What we also need to do is tell you that this week's hit on the algorithm is...
What are you nasties listening to while you smashing with your socks on?
Is it over now?
Okay, alright, you smashing with your socks off, right? It's over now, comes on the playlist. Do you get self-conscious and feel like she did that on purpose, right? Like as a mental timer, like if this song comes on, you've been here too long.
How long ago did she go, can I put on some music?
I just feel like if that song comes on, you're done, right?
Yeah.
Like smashing has to stop. Like especially if it goes on for longer than like 5 seconds, it's like, okay, cool, Taylor. Thanks, Taylor. Yeah, thanks.
Taylor at the Chiefs game. Is it over now?
Taylor is dominating the fucking charts, by the way.
Taylor was the number one Halloween costume this year.
Was she for real?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Oh, that's cringe.
Super. Mitt Romney and his wife did it.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, Taylor is number 1, 2, and 3. Number 4 is Doja Cat with Paint the Town Red. And number 5 is Say Don't Go, right? So Taylor, you guys are really loving you some Taylor this November. But our number 1 pick for this week, the Flood endorsed, first Flood endorsed number 1 pick for the week, has gotta be.
Doc found some fire.
Has got to be. Well, I didn't find the fire. The streets is hot right now with that Benny the Butcher and Lil Wayne feature, right? That big dog. You talking to the big dogs, right? Listen, that joint. Don't sleep on it.
Nope.
Don't sleep on it.
You like Griselda? Well, I mean,
do I need to say more? It's fucking Benny
you're
the
gonna
Butcher
listen to the song
and
and then
Lil
wanna rob
Wayne.
somebody.
Lil
Like-
Wayne been fucking running all over features this entire year. It feels like, dude. And then he dropped that prequel to the
Carter 6,
latest
right?
Carter 6 release, right? And he's also got that joint tape coming out with 2 Chainz this weekend, or not this weekend, but he's got a joint tape with 2 Chainz coming out. Meek Mill and Rick Ross coming through with a Tears for Fears feature, a Tears for Fears sample on that Go to Hell, right? Oh yeah, look, just a little snippet of that for you, right? We're not gonna play too much more because we don't want to get demonetized. Also, that wasn't supposed to happen. Go check those tracks out. Do not sleep on any of that.
Doc was talking about Lil Wayne jumping on features everywhere. You also found a list of artists who were in a band and ended up becoming bigger than that band. So, why don't you run down this list for us?
I did. I found a list on MSN pulled from American Songwriter, right? I feel like I've been getting quite a few articles from American Songwriter on 6 singers whose solo careers surpassed their band's success, right? And I'm not gonna front, there were only a couple of singers on here who I actually knew, but lots of them come from older bands, like number 1 being Don Henley from the Eagles, right? Who found success with hits like Dirty Laundry, Hearts of Matter, and The Boys of Summer after he left the Eagles. Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's, who had the number 1 hit, Heaven is a Place on Earth.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Y'all know that banger, and if you don't, then get hip, right? Get woke. Harry Styles, here's one of the newer members on this list being Harry Styles of One Direction. Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins from Genesis both found stardom after they decided to leave and pursue greener, would you call it greener pastures? Right? Because there was no Genesis after that, right? Like, that was the genesis of Peter Collins and Peter Collins.
Phil Collins.
Fusion!
I mean,
how fucked up would that have been if they had left Genesis and then formed like a duo group on their own, like some Simon and Garfunkel shit?
And they would have just called it "Fuck You Guys."
Well, damn. After Genesis, it was.
All right. So, do you know any Peter Gabriel songs?
Ooh, not off the top of my head.
No.
Though.
Do you know any Phil Collins songs?
Yes.
I can see it coming.
That's the only one. I'm not even gonna front. That iconic
The Tarzan
80s, that
soundtrack
hollow
shit.
80s. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he was all over that shit, too. Yeah. Yeah, no Phil Collins stepped all over that fucking Tarzan soundtrack, bro.
Great fucking soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
That's what I know Phil Collins from. That song and the Tarzan soundtrack.
You'll be in
I
my
don't even know any Genesis songs.
No. Oh, my God. Yeah,
Although
no.
I do know their nickname was Genesnews.
Phil Collins ran all over the Tarzan soundtrack like Randy Newman did on the Toy Story soundtrack.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy. And number 1 was, not number 1. We had Gwen Stefani from No Doubt, right? And, cause she ain't no holla back girl. And the most famous of the entire list, Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5. right? Obviously, how could you not include Michael in this list?
So for starters, I want to say Michael Jackson superseded the Jackson 5 to where I didn't even think about Michael Jackson.
He was like, there's a group before that. I mean, there's plenty of artists that I feel like have done that, right? Like Ozzy is one. You mentioned Rob Zombie, right, earlier off mic. And I mean, Rob Zombie's band before Rob Zombie was just like Rob Zombie's.
White Zombie.
Yeah, it was, but it was still like a proto Rob Zombie band, right? Like,
so Ozzy and Black Sabbath, before we go into the other ones that I listed, Ozzy and Black Sabbath is kind of like a unique scenario because Ozzy went off to go do like his solo stuff, but then Dio came in and Black Sabbath continued to be like super mega relevant.
Yeah.
But you know, Ozzy still made the early Black Sabbath.
So you wouldn't, so
So-
Black Sabbath. So Ozzy and Black Sabbath don't count because Black Sabbath continued to be relevant after Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a phase 1 and a phase 2 for Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Where in Van Halen's case, it's like the good Van Halen and the bad Van Halen.
Yeah. Jump to the next one.
So here are some ones that I thought of. Jadakiss.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's a good one. That is a good one. And that is no disrespect to Sheik Luch or Styles P.
No.
I feel like Styles could be thrown in there too, like Peter. So this is like a Genesis kind of thing, where it's like Peter Gabriel.
I feel like
and
Styles
Phil
would
Collins.
be like, all right, I did my own thing, but I'm still living in this like gangsta underground. I'm not gonna do anything.
Do you think Styles P would appreciate the Peter Gabriel comparison?
No,
No.
I don't think he would.
No.
Do not think he would appreciate the Peter Gabriel comparison. I don't think
Do you think
Jadakiss would appreciate
the Phil Collins
comparison.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
You didn't think I would come with that one, did you?
I mean, it's the obvious, right? If Styles P is Peter Gabriel.
No, but I mean, for me to come up with my 10, I bet you didn't think I was going to lead off with Jadakiss.
No, but I also don't think you understand why I picked Styles P to be Peter Gabriel either. Although Phil Collins starts with a P as well, right?
I did write down Rob Zombie, formerly White Zombie. This one more is just maintaining their fame because their band could no longer continue, and that's Paul McCartney.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Same with this next one, Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters.
Right. Similar trajectory there.
Jack White from the White Stripes, who has since made like 12 bands since. They're all good and famous because Jack White is in them.
Yeah, I was gonna say after splitting from his sister wife.
His wife that they were pretending to be sister.
That's why I said sister wife. Yeah.
Joan Jett.
Oh, okay.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, how could Justin Timberlake be left off that list? I feel like that is a bit wild that they left Justin off that list. Also, Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Stevie Nicks. She used to be in Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
They fucking hate each other.
That's one of those where it's like, I'm much better than the band kind of things.
Yeah, and I think there was romance involved, and there were definitely drugs involved.
Yeah. In that case, then we can mention Lauryn Hill.
That's exactly who I was gonna say next.
Yeah,
Lauryn Hill.
I was gonna say, although the Fugees, continued to. That's more of like a Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne kind of thing, because the Fugees continued to be relevant after that.
Glenn Danzig.
Yeah.
Glenn Danzig.
But who wants to be in a band with that guy?
That's why they tried to continue the Misfits after he left. However, Danzig, he did have a very successful for the genre he was in solo career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
As an absolute dick.
Which is very on brand.
He's like the metal version of Mariah Carey.
Is there any way we can get the blood to flow up the wall?
He's literally like, they make him look like the metal version of Mariah Carey.
He basically is. like the Misfits are so cartoonish with their like, we're gonna kill everything and everyone and blood, that it's like, it's comical.
How do you think Danzig would feel if he heard us compare him to Mariah Carey? I totally feel like he'd be like, what the like.
He would definitely be offended.
Yeah.
Because he would understand it.
begrudgingly offended.
Yeah, he would be offended because it would be like looking in the mirror. It would be like Danzig looking into a Rule 63 mirror.
Damn. And if you don't know, now you know. There's Rule 34, which we won't talk about because NPR is listening. But there is also Rule 63, which is what the Republicans and the GOP are worried about. They have seen it for research purposes.
So, Rule 63 is...
Futanari. No. It is the gender bend rule where, you know, they mash up your favorite, like Adventure Time.
What's the actual wording on Rule 64?
Rule 63 is an internet adage which states that for every fictional character there exists an opposite gender counterpart, a la Adventure Time.
Yes.
Right? Where they constantly played around with the genders of the characters, you know, to piss conservative parents throughout the country off.
And I have the last two who come from the same group, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I feel like just about everybody except for like DJ Ren and DJ Yella found success afterwards. And I mean, they relevant, maybe, like they've remained relevant for a couple
Yella
of years.
went on to a porn producer job.
Hey, success is subjective.
Yeah.
Success is subjective. I saw a post on IG the other day that says Slim Thug and a group of his homies got together and literally bought the block, right? And remodeled the block and put up brand new housing and everything. I wanted to look a little bit more into it to see if he's doing like affordable housing remodeling in these neighborhoods and stuff like that. But I'm like, hey, look, as long as he ain't Caesar Pena in it out here, I guess that's a good look for Slim Thug, right?
So, out of the ones that I listed, which ones do you think were omissions from the list that you read?
I feel like all the ones you listed, except for maybe like the more obscure, like Glenn Danzig ones. Like, I'm surprised they left whatchamacallit, Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks out. Yeah, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre too, right? Like for cultural relevancy.
I feel like they would have. Paul McCartney and the Foo Fighters, I feel like they would just be like, that's only because the one of them died.
Also, Justin Timberlake, right? Like, how do you leave Justin Timberlake off of that list? Another snub that's got people really questioning the trajectory of pop music lately is the recent Grammy noms list dropped this week, and a lot of people are wondering, where the country music at? Because listeners of The Flood will know, country music dominated.
Morgan Wallen, you gotta respect his check.
16 weeks at number one, yet he is nowhere to be seen on this Grammy nom list.
That's pretty ridiculous. That's kind of absurd.
Like we said, like country music was literally dominating the charts with fucking on an average of 6 of the 10 top songs on the top 10 Billboard being country songs this year.
And people already said the Grammys don't matter. That's because they don't represent. Now they are actively
proving that they are not relevant, right? Like they are out of touch because as the writer of the article acknowledged, Jessica Nicholson over at Billboard acknowledge the last time country music did this was in 1973 was when they had more than 4 songs on the Billboard 100, and country music hasn't taken home a Grammy of the Year award since 2010. I think she said it was either 2010 or
was that a Taylor Swift one?
It might have been. Hold on.
If it was Taylor Swift, they're like that doesn't even count.
No, in 2010, the Best New Artist went to the Zac Brown Band.
Okay,
right?
They actually do kick ass.
Yeah.
Like they play with Dave Grohl and Jack White.
Yeah. But yeah, no, country music has had record-breaking streams this year. It really it completely knocked hip hop out of the top 10. Hip hop couldn't break in outside of Doja Cat. I mean, Drake, I guess, slithered his way in there towards the end of summer. But other
Man, I
than
just drank a steak.
other than Doja Cat and SZA, right? Like and Gunna, there was no hip hop in the top.
Of course,
10.
Gunna. Fuck you mean?
It was Taylor, and it was a Taylor and Twang kind of summer, and yet there's.
I'm not a country fan at all, but to deny Grammy noms to songs that had 16 weeks at number one is willful ignorance.
I can tell you that record of the year nominees so far, not so far, are Worship by John Baptiste, Not Strong Enough, Boy Genius, Flowers, Miley Cyrus, What I Was Made For, Billie Eilish, On My Mama, Victoria Monet, which is an absolute banger, by the way. It should win a Grammy. That's just my biased opinion, though. Vampire, Olivia Rodrigo, Anti-Hero, Taylor Swift, and Kill Bill, SZA, right? That was record of the year. Album of the year so far is looking like World of Music Radio, John Baptiste, The Record, Boy Genius by Boy Genius, Endless Summer Vacation, Miley Cyrus. I didn't know Lana Del Rey dropped a fucking album this year. Did you know that there's a Tunnel Under the Ocean Boulevard, Lana Del Rey?
Of course, Lana Del Rey doesn't have a single song nominated, but gets nominated for album of the year.
Right, but once again, didn't even know. And I'm actively out there, right? Like, looking, they just digging through crates. The Age of Pleasure, Janelle Monáe, Guts, Olivia Rodrigo, Midnight's, Taylor Swift, and SOS by SZA, right? And I personally I feel like it should probably go to SZA for the way that she dominated the first half of the year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she was all over them charts until Taylor decided to revise all of her old hits, right? And that,
see, all America wants is remix.
That wasn't a dig.
Yeah.
That wasn't a dig. That wasn't a dig. We understand why Taylor did it, right? I'm just saying that
because we respect the check.
It's also just convenient. Song of the year. So that's the Lana Del Rey song, right? A&W, written by Jack Antonoff and Lana Del Rey and Sam Dew. Anti-Hero, written by Jack Antonoff and Taylor Swift. Butterfly, John Baptiste and Dan Wilson. Dance the Night, Caroline Allen, Dua Lipa, Mark Ronson, Andrew Wyatt. Flowers, Miley Cyrus, George Adelaide Hine, and Michael Pollock. Kill Bill, Rob Bissell, Carter Lang, and Selena Rowe. SZA. Vampire, Olivia Rodrigo, and Daniel Nigro. And What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish, O'Connell, and Phineas O'Connell, the brother-sister, the actual brother-sister duo, not brother-sister, sister, wife, husband, like fucking Jack White. Anyway.
Well, they did that just to fuck with the media.
Yeah.
So I give them credit for that.
In the Best New Artist category, we have Gracie Abrams, Fredigan, Ice Spice, Jelly Roll, Coco Jones, Noah Khan, Victoria Monet, and The War and Treaty.
Gracie Abrams?
Yeah, yes.
We see you, Stacey. We see you out here.
Then it's Producer of the Year with, Jack Antonoff, DeMille, Hit Boy, Metro Boomin, Daniel Negro. I keep wanting to say Daniel Negro. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced. Then it's Songwriter of the Year. Y'all can go to the Grammy website to see the rest of the categories and everything like that. But as we can see, throughout the categories that I listed, which were the big four, right?
Yeah.
Big five, right? Because I got into producers. It's no country, none whatsoever. Despite what they did to the summer, how do you respond? How do you feel about that?
Try that in a small town.
I guess they did,
Yeah.
right? And it didn't show up. It didn't show up on the radar. Do you feel like this means that the Grammy committee is out of touch?
I mean, I almost feel like the Grammy committee had political motivations in that.
So do you feel like it's politically motivated
I feel like
to boycott
this
and ignore
one might
country?
actually be politically motivated.
in spite of Jason Aldean, despite of what Morgan
Richmond
Wallen
and
is doing, and
Richmond, north of Richmond? Where's that?
Virginia.
I mean, yeah. But, like that
Like,
song also was living at number 1 for a while. And,
I mean, yeah, and it is
like,
obviously
that's one
calling
of those
out
songs
the
that should have
elite.
been like song of the year, because that's
Yeah.
about the songwriting, right?
Right, and I mean, I could see in a world where, things were shifted back a little bit, where they were in like the 80s. Had that song come out in like the 80s or like 1978, oh yeah, no, that would have gotten all the Grammys, right?
Yeah,
like,
that would come off like, this guy might be the new Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
Like-
yes, absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of the listening public and the, streams were saying.
The Grammy people might have been thinking this time, he might be the new Bob Dylan.
Yeah. So that's do you feel like it's out of touch, or do you feel like it's a cultural shift based on the list, right? Because, I mean, we can't say that the list excluded white artists, right? Like, you have Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus on here, and we've got more cultural flavor with Olivia Rodrigo and SZA in a lot of these categories as well, right? And Janelle Monáe. So what?
I feel like this might actually be a conscious choice by the Grammy committee that they will never ever do.
To publicly ignore the rising stardom of these country artists and the impact that country music is having on cultural Americana, right? Do you feel like that's a smart move for the Grammy committee?
That's dumb as fuck. If they
who's-
want to just get money,
Right.
then that's dumb as fuck. And if they don't just try to get money, they're going to keep saying the Grammys don't matter, because the Grammys have always been about money.
That's what I'm saying. The cultural influence of the Grammys is already waning. It's on life support as it speaks. So to kind of ignore what could have been a very clear lifeline, right, which would have been acknowledging at least the impact that country music had over the summer in some kind of fucking way, seems extremely misguided, if not ignorant, and like on its face, dude, like major face palm. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't even fucking really listen to country music. Like
I mean,
that.
personally, I'm going to be glad that, Try That in a Small Town isn't walking away with the Grammy.
I mean, listen, with the way that country music was streaming this summer, I even
Like,
went
honestly,
and
the
tried
one
to
that does
listen to
shock
some of
me
the
most-
songs.
I am genuinely surprised that Richmond, north of Richmond, didn't get like a song
Or
of the
not, right? Or at least like
the song
a
of the year
writing.
represents or is it songwriting?
Yeah, there's
Whatever
a
the
songwriting category.
should
Yeah.
have been. I think that song deserved a nom, whether or not we like it or not, because it's one of the more substantial songs that have come out.
And once again, Morgan Wallen spent fucking 16 weeks at number 1, dude. There were like fucking months where it was like nothing but Morgan Wallen. And that's crazy that he's nowhere to be seen there. None. Not at all.
It's really weird because songwriting is one of the claims to fame of country music. Like,
Even if, like, no Artist of the Year nod, that's what? Like, how? Now, I will say that,
maybe the
I
Grammy
think,
is doing reparations for having Macklemore win Album of the Year.
yeah, now Jelly Roll, made it into the Best New Artist category, right? And he took home a bunch of awards at the CMAs the other night. So, if I remember correctly, he also dropped his CMA award and shattered it. So, that's great.
Rob Gronkowski put a dent in the Lombardi Trophy within like 2 hours of winning it.
What did we think Gronk was gonna do with a fucking historical trophy, bro?
He's like, I got 3 of these, so no, he has 4. No,
It's fine if one of them has a dent in it.
He has.
It makes it.
Does he have 4?
It makes it unique. What is
Brady is. He does have 4 because Brady has 7 rings. Holy shit!
Speaking of unique and bringing it back, the impact that country music has had on music culture this year is quite unique, and it's kind of a shame that it is being ignored by the Grammy committee. And this is also, once again, coming from somebody who does not actively listen to country music.
This is someone who actively dislikes country music, and I'm saying it's bad.
Well, moving on, some of the other things we have to talk to you guys this week. This actually is probably the one about trailers, because there are lots of trailers we got to talk to y'all about. Netflix dropped both the Avatar: The Last Airbender teaser trailer, the first of the teaser trailers, and the teaser trailer for the new Yu Yu Hakusho series, as well as an announcement for a Terminator anime, or an anime based on the Terminator series.
I also finished Attack on Titan and started watching the new Rurouni Kenshin adaptation on Crunchyroll.
The SGA strike has finally come to a tentative agreement and is officially over as of final voting on Tuesday, which will have happened by the time this pod drops.
But we will come back after this break.
Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about Black Sun?